Check 1, 2. We're going live. We are live. We are live. Alive in America. We're live in America, where justice once was. Can we get a fair deal? Good morning to you. Good morning to you. You're alive. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the program. How you doing? Marcus Conte reporting. How are you? How are you? Happy Tuesday to you. Let me make sure I got everything running right. I feel like I forgot something. Turn this garbage off. Yeah, I think we're up and rolling. Welcome to the program today. We're going to talk about Julian Assange. Remember that guy? Julian Assange, the very corrupt Merrick Garland was grilled yesterday on Capitol Hill. I don't recall in the 6 or 7 hours of the hearing anybody ever mentions the name Julian Assange. But there are people over there in Australia. It turns out that Australia, 9 out of 10 people in Australia, where Julian Assange was born and is a citizen of, and won all kinds of journalist awards, 9 out of 10 people in Australia believe that the United States is dragging their feet and should let their people go. Right? Let Assange go already. 9 out of 10 people in Australia. That's a lot. That's only like one holdout in 10. Right? That's a lot of people. And So anyway, yeah. So we'll talk about that story. But the grilling yesterday, Merrick Garland, you couldn't expect much more of him. Merrick Garland is the sitting, attorneys general, and he basically had amnesia. Whenever asked a question about Hunter Biden and why the Department of Justice let the statute of limitations run out on Joe Biden, his father's corruption in Ukraine with Burisma, he had amnesia. He didn't know anything. He just said, "Oh, well, we appointed somebody and we pushed it off on them." Right, and so here's the guy leading the Department of Justice under direct power of the president right now. And so you're going to see the cover-up, right? The Republicans, the newly minted Republicans really tried to push Garland. But again, it's almost frivolous because he's protected. They're protecting each other. Garland protects Biden. Biden protects Garland. Garland was appointed by Biden. And Trump should take notice because that's how loyalty works, right? The Democrats are showing you that Merrick Garland is showing you how loyal he is to Joe Biden in many respects. Now, and I'm not, again, if you're watching this program and you will immediately coin me as left or right or center or whatever, put all that aside a second. What I'm looking at is evidence that appears to be pretty clear, where we had a president, sitting vice president of the United States, working probably with the president of the United States, sending his son over to the Ukraine, trying to fill their own pockets with money, and ultimately getting caught doing that, and then ordering the prosecution or the elimination of the prosecutor in the Ukraine to get him, right? Get rid of him, or you're not going to get your $1 billion. You fire that guy who's investigating my son, or you're not going to get your $1 billion. Now, Biden is on the record doing that. That is bribery. That is quid pro quo. That is extortion. That is arguably treasonous because you're doing dirty deals with foreign entities while you're supposed to be the pillar of American democracy. So again, these things are extremely obvious. I think if people look at it, it seems half the country just can't see it because they're so gaslit with Trump's alleged corruption. Right? So we have a crazy time. We can only pray, only hope, and wait for Julian Assange, the journalist, who is being held for. I don't know what the United States always holds people for. They say, well, he's a threat to our democracy. He's a threat to national security. That's why Julian Assange is in jail, because he showed a video of the United States bombing innocent Iraqis and two Reuters journalists killing them. The kill video, right? Because of that, Julian Assange, the journalist, for showing that to the public, what the United States did. He's sitting in jail now for 2.5 years in London. He spent 7 years hiding in the embassy in London as well. And Australia wants him back. Australia says, we'll take him, bring him home, and hopefully home for Christmas. That's what Australia is saying right now. Very, very voicefully, too. Right? They came here, they spoke to the Senate, and are unanimous on, you got to deal with Assange now, hey, listen, we're your friends, right? You got to help us out. So we'll look at those stories. So that was my thumbnail today. There's Julian Assange, the journalist, versus the U.S. Injustice Department under Merrick Garland. And under whoever else was before him, William Barr, Trump, Obama, they all, I would imagine Obama would have eventually pardoned Assange. But certainly Trump didn't do it, and certainly Biden doesn't even want to hear it. Biden doesn't even know who Assange is. Trump knew who he was. Trump arguably was, in part elected because of Julian Assange exposing the Democrats in many ways. During the DNC 2016 elections, that corruption, and Trump didn't do anything. Trump, no, I don't know Assange. So anyway, we'll look at these things, and happy Thursday to you. This is my website, Marcus Conte, Marcus in the Morning, educational, philosophical. We're also going to look at the markets that are getting whacked right now because of. The interest rate is going to stay steady. Jerome Powell kept the interest rate steady, but hinted that there will be one more rate hike before the year is up, and then they may hold the interest rate steady for a long time. Right? There's no indication of them clicking the interest rate down, which is what Wall Street wants. It makes money cheaper. It makes more liquidity, more spending, more momentum in the markets, in all the markets. All right. So, but the Fed is headstrong, thinking that they keep squeezing the industries, and somehow that's going to bring inflation down. And it generally doesn't work that way, but that's the theory, at least. So every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Thursday, I got to change that. Monday through Thursday, Marcus Conte instituting a 4-day work week here with his illustrious staff, which is just me. And I don't know, it's just it seems nice. It seems like the right thing to do. Go down to 4 days. So Monday through Thursday, every morning at 9 a.m., we are here. We're live on YouTube with all these fine people in the chat. These are real people. Vinny DiMartini on the wrench. Weevil Girl as well on the wrench. Cass Philly Camden. Spirit Child. Chris Milk. Thomas Slater. What's up, man? What's up, everybody? And everybody else is lurking. William Hall up there in Syracuse, New York. And we're broadcasting live from the northeast of Pennsylvania, where the temperature is 50 degrees and sunny. Very beautiful, beautiful weather we're having right now. It's so wonderful when the sun is out and it's a little cool, where you can actually sit directly in the sun without melting. It's a wonderful thing to do, and definitely try it if you haven't tried it lately. So let's start here. I wanted to mention that the Biden administration ordered $600 million in COVID tests to deliver to households. Now, they did this before. You remember during the pandemic, you can go to a website and 4 COVID-19 tests would appear in your mailbox. And allegedly, these were telling you if you had the deadly virus or not. I still have a couple in my closet. I kept them as antiques, as relics. And I'll certainly order the new 4 since they're giving them away. But big story is where did the $600 million go? It's all business. The Biden administration will once again provide U.S. households with free at-home COVID tests. 12 domestic manufacturers have been awarded $600 million in this over-the-counter test. Households may order up to 4 tests. The Biden administration is partnering with domestic manufacturers, blah, 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 blah. There's a look at the test. Why? Here's the money. Here's how the money got split. All these companies right here, look. Access Bio, Avid, Azure, Cordex, iHealth, right? They all got 15 million, 20 million, $163 million to manufacture COVID tests. And for what reason? I thought COVID was dead. Right? I thought it was over. Right? So the Biden administration was. Yeah, I just want to read this. I don't know. I mean, I thought it was over. I thought they're going to revamp. See, now the conspiracies could kick in. Right? Here's where the conspiracies can kick in. They can say, "Oh, they're bringing back COVID because everything else is failing." I like this line right here. They're changing their tune a little bit as we head into the fall and winter months, and once again see an uptick in COVID across the state. I urge all New Yorkers to remember that COVID is a treatable disease, and we now have an updated vaccine. I don't like that part of it, but an updated vaccine? I thought you're supposed to have, FDA approval and test these things for years and years. Not anymore. It doesn't matter that you get blood clots and myocarditis and it could kill you, the vaccine itself. It's not a problem because we have other things that we can inject into you. If we create this problem over here with the vaccine, we'll shoot you up with something else and we'll make that problem go away, creating another and another and another problem. So don't worry about your initial problem. You'll have more problems than you can deal with if you take that shit, right? So they have updated vaccines, reduce your chance of serious illness, hospitalization. Remember, I like this line. This is the line I like. It's about personal protection, personal prevention, and personal wellness. Listen, people that believe that you're wearing a mask and getting a vaccine and staying 6 feet away from somebody is helping others. Right? There are people that actually believe that. I'm wearing this mask to protect you. I got this injection to protect you. I'm staying my distance away from you to protect you from me. That's not how it works. You protect yourself with your own ideas and your own ideology because there is no proof that anything you're doing is protecting anyone else. So you can do it. Go ahead and do it. Wear the mask to protect somebody else, but don't push it on somebody fucking else. It's your personal decision. Don't require other people to adhere to your personal conditions or else. I'll throw a fit. I'll throw a hissy fit. So anyway, so there's this problem. So they're rolling out the COVID-19 again, I guess is what I wanted to say. They're rolling it out, and take care of yourself. Look, 10 minutes a day. Close your eyes and talk to God. Connect with God, and you'll know the answer. You'll take care of yourself. You'll learn how to heal yourself. You'll learn how to relax. Drink water. Take the sun. Eat healthy food. Exercise. Do yoga. Stand on your goddamn head. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Personal preservation. And by doing those things, you're helping others. By staying healthy yourself, you help the whole populace. That's how it works, right? You don't say, you don't demand people, you better exercise, motherfucker, because you're getting at me sick. Now, you'd like to say that. You'd like to say that to some, for example, if you're in a place where you can't get away from other people and you're sitting next to some super fat slob sneezing and coughing and obese and unhealthy. You could hear the person breathing. They're dying. They're dying right in front of you. And that person's full of disease. And that's the person that can get you sick. You want to stay away from people like that. You don't want to impose your, say, hey, man, you should lose weight like me. Because people get offended by that. But just be who you are, By you being healthy, they'll see it. They'll see it. They'll have a little resentment, a little jealousy, but essentially they may see it. I say healthy as an example for you to also be healthy. That's why I do it. I do it for myself, whatever that means. But I do it and it lifts up the whole boat. By me staying healthy, I advance the human experiment a little higher. Now, that might be hard to understand, but you do. We're all connected in that way. And the healthier one person is, it's contagious, just like disease is contagious. If someone is unhealthy, that is contagious just as well. But when someone is healthy, that health is also highly contagious to others. I'm healthy. I'm happy. God damn it. But the tests are rolling out. So let's talk about Merrick Garland getting grilled. We'll start with... and then we'll talk about Julian Assange and his potential release. Let's listen to Ted Cruz grill Merrick Garland. Ted Cruz says, what did he say?
Under 18 U.S.C. Section 1507. Have you brought even one?
Senator, you asked me whether I sat on my hands, and quite the opposite. I sent 70 United States Marshals.
Let me try again.
To defend. And
has the Department of Justice brought even a single case under this statute? It's a yes/no question.
So Cruz is pushing Merrick Garland on the fact that Supreme Court justices were threatened in their home. You remember when that happened? Antifa threatened them. And Ted Cruz is asking him, rather politely, did you bring any prosecution, did you prosecute any of these people under 18 U.S.C. At all? And the answer is obviously no. But how many people did he throw in jail, Merrick Garland throw in jail for a rally on January 6th? Well, 1,100 and counting.
It's not give a speech on the other things you did.
The job of the United States Marshals is to defend the lives
So
of
the answer is no.
It's to defend the lives of the justices, and that's our number one priority. They have.
Why are you unwilling to say no? The answer is no. You know it's no. I know it's no. Everyone in this hearing room knows it's no.
Can I answer the question?
No, you cannot. You have refused to answer the question.
I am answering your question. The Attorney General does not decide whether to arrest.
How did you choose not to enforce this statute?
The marshals on scene.
Marshals don't make that decision.
They do make the decision of whether to make an arrest.
Prosecute someone? No, they don't. You brought a single case against any of these protesters threatening the justices under 18 U.S.C.
Right, so that's pretty powerful. You see how Merrick Garland refuses to answer the question. I guess that's the obvious one, right? This is the Department of Injustice, right? There's people threatening Supreme Court justices in their home, right? And threatening to kill them, right? Hundreds of Antifa, right? And none of them are prosecuted by Merrick Garland. Because why? Because Biden doesn't like these justices. In fact, Merrick Garland was actually slated to become a Supreme Court justice, and Trump overlooked him. So now Antifa is threatening their lives, and Merrick Garland, the failed Supreme Court justice, just there's no prosecution of any of these people. But go after the January 6th Trump ralliers and throw them in jail. Right? That makes perfect sense. Right? So that's the beginning of it. Let's hear. Here's a little more grilling.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Garland, what is a confidential human source?
Well, it's an FBI term. I don't know all the technicality, but it's...
Here, let me define it for you. It's in your own policy here.
Okay.
An individual who is believed to be providing useful and credible information to the FBI from any authorized information collection activity, and from whom what the FBI expects or intends to obtain additional, useful, and credible information in the future, all right? And whose identity, information, or relationship with the FBI warrants confidential handling. So these guys are individuals. You pay them $42 million a year. Did you know that? The IG said you're paying these sources $42 million a year. Did you know that?
I know informants.
It's $42 million a year. So you believe that they're credible, they're valuable. The FBI's using these guys. We're paying them a lot of money. Would you agree with that?
I agree. Some are more
Very good. So they're credible. You're
than
paying
others.
them a lot of money. You got a lot of them out there.
This is how you question an idiot like Merrick Garland. You don't let him answer because he's going to lie. He lies. He's just a pathological liar. He came in there. He has selective amnesia. I don't know. We hired some guy to do the job. I don't fucking know. It's like he hired a plumber to fix the sink. Right? He's a liar. Right? He's the boss. He takes his orders from Joe Biden, the super boss, and that's how it works. That's how the Department of Justice works. Right? Unfortunately, William Barr didn't listen to Trump, but that's besides the point.
So let me paint the picture for America. Hunter Biden joins Burisma in 2014. Burisma, very, very corrupt Ukrainian energy company. He has no experience in oil and gas. He admits it. He says, I don't have any experience. I know why I'm there. I have a dad. I have with me a document called the FD 1023. Have you seen this? You're familiar with it? Okay, it's used by the FBI, everybody in America. It's used by the FBI. It is a confidential human source reporting document dated June 2020. You're familiar with it. In this document, the FBI's confidential human source says Burisma, now the corrupt company, needed to keep Hunter on the board so everything would be okay. And according to...
He's outlining quid pro quo. He's showing you how Biden and Biden's family made all their millions of dollars by selling influence in the Ukraine, for example. All very well documented, very well prosecutable, high crimes against the country. It's rather clear, you know.
To the human source, they hired Hunter Biden to, quote, protect us through his dad for all kinds of problems. Mr. Garland, does that concern you? Okay, it should. I got limited time. Remember, your sources are credible, trustworthy, honest, and valuable. Are you familiar with Victor Shokin?
The document that you're...
Who is Mr. Victor Shokin? So I got 3 minutes left.
You want me to answer that?
Yeah, Victor Shokin. Who is he?
I don't know. Do you want me to
Okay,
answer
he's
the
the
first
prosecutor, folks. He's the prosecutor that was, he oversees all the corruption in Ukraine. We know there's corruption over there. For the American people watching, after a few months after Hunter Biden joined the Burisma board, Victor Shokin was named Prosecutor General for Ukraine to target corruption. And one of his investigations was into Burisma. In this...
So there was the prosecutor. There was the prosecutor in the Ukraine going after Joe Biden and his son over the Burisma handlings, right? And then what happened? Joe Biden said, you either get rid of this guy or you're not going to get your $1 billion. Watch.
FD 1023 document, the human source clarified that Burisma's CEO, the man in charge of Burisma, said he has many text messages and recordings that show he was coerced to make such payment to ensure Victor Shokin was fired. Matter of fact, there were 17 of them.
Victor Shokin was the prosecutor in Ukraine, right? He was the guy who was assigned to investigate the corruption, right? And that's what Trump was talking about. When Trump had a conversation with Zelensky, they were talking about this corruption of the Biden family, just to find out how much money they were taking and what favors they were delivering, right? Deep corruption from the vice presidency of the former president. Joe Biden, right? And all of those the statute of limitations on all those cases have since expired because of this guy right here. Merrick Garland sat on his hands for over 6 years, and they never prosecuted it. But here's the grilling. Continue.
Mr. Garland, it's clear Joe Biden wanted Shokin fired so he would stop looking into Burisma.
Correct.
Where Hunter was on the board. Would you agree? All right, let's let the American people decide. Play the clip. Play the clip.
That's the way you deal with him. He's a jerk off. Don't even let him talk. Just talk at him. Why ask a liar, a pathological liar, a question? Because you're only going to get a lie. Just ignore him. Just tell him what's going on and let the American people see it. I like that. I like that strategy. Here's the tape. Watch.
Convincing our team or others to convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from
Pay attention, sir, please.
Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him.
So there's Joe Biden telling in a public forum that we withheld $1 billion in loan guarantees to Ukraine if they didn't get rid of Vichenko, the prosecutor, who was looking into his corruption. Now, that's not interference? That's not real? That's not investigatable? The vice president is so it's pretty clear. And Merrick Garland knows it, and there's nothing going to be done about it, right?
I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting $1 billion.
Not getting you $1 billion.
You're not getting $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid.
Mr. Attorney General, what you just saw there was Joe Biden in his arrogance and role as the vice president in this country saying if you don't fire Shokin, the United States isn't given the $1 billion loan. Why would Joe Biden say that as the vice president? Why would he say such a thing? Was it policy? Was it our policy at the time?
No, it was not our policy. It was him protecting himself and his family and his money.
Yes or no? It wasn't. I have documents here. Interagency Policy Committee dated October
Point of information,
15th,
is the gentleman ever going to let the
I'm on
gentleman
my
answer
time, pipe down.
I'm on my time. Shut the hell up.
And Shokin had made significant reforms. He's made significant reforms, Shokin did. Matter of fact, John Kerry says he was impressive. And you know, within a few months after Shokin was fired, they appoint a prosecutor that said, we're not going to look into Burisma anymore. Cancel that, forget it, we're not looking into Burisma. Boom, here comes the $1 million. Joe Biden threatened the Ukrainian president and the prime minister. Everybody can see it, to fire Shokin, or the United States won't give the $1 billion. If that.
And then they turned around and blamed Trump and impeached him. Right? Nancy Pelosi led the charge to impeach Trump over all of this corruption you're hearing about. You see how the deflection works? It's a scary time, you know. It's a scary notion that guys like Merrick Garland are clearly and unequivocally on one side of the fence, deeply, deeply rooted in one side of the fence, and the market is down, man. Wow, what a hit! What a hit the markets took, boy. I tell you, man. So let's look. Let's have a look. I'm telling you, man. I'm destined to be poor. I don't know. So NASDAQ is down 129. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 170, 183. S&P 500 down 32. I hate to sound downbeat about this, but, you want it to go up. Everything is red. The whole board is red. Apple down 65 cents. Amazon down 350. Meta down 240. Microsoft down $1.86. Tesla down 5. Rivian down 40 cents, Tilray down 10 cents. And how's the vaccine stocks doing? Vaccine stocks, Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, all down as well. So the markets are down. It has to do with the rate, the interest rate, the interest rate put out by the Federal Reserve is staying steady, but there will be another 25 basis point jack up by the end of the year, and it's likely to stay that way for years to come. All right? That's what the Fed is signaling. And Wall Street doesn't like that. They want the days of easy money to come back. Once you signal that the interest rate is going to come down, the easy money is on the horizon again, right? Where money starts to flow again. And corporations and small businesses start to have liquidity again. People buy things, they buy homes, they buy cars because the interest rates are low. Instead of squeezing them. But that's the reason why the markets are down. The markets are reacting to Jerome Powell's statements yesterday, and they don't like it. It's down. That's what happens. So let's look at. So we heard this guy grill. Let's listen to the rest of the grilling.
Is not quid pro quo, sir. What is? I will tell.
Or to others, just normally.
And plan to ensure in 2014, Burisma, very, very corrupt.
Call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting $1 billion.
So Joe Biden telling him you're not going to get his $1 billion. It's quid pro quo. That's what it is. Let's listen to Jim Jordan do a little grilling as well. Jim Jordan grilling.
We will start with the gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Johnson.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Weiss, the rule of law does distinguish our country, but you have not upheld that. You have allowed the rule of law to erode, and that's why 65% of the people in this country have no faith in the Department of Justice under your leadership. They don't trust it. They don't trust you. The reason is because they're witnessing every day a politicized Justice Department in a two-tiered system of justice.
Is it possible to have justice? Here's the question, right? If all of these people are politically appointed, right? For example, a judge is appointed by a Democratic judge or a Republican judge, is it possible, really, for them to be impartial going forward? Or do they forever have an allegiance to that party? It makes the argument that there shouldn't be a two-party system, of course. But are we forever yin and yang? Are we forever left and right? Well, it seems like it because Merrick Garland is inescapably left. That is inescapable. Every issue, every move he makes supports leftist vision and condemns the right. Right? So is that escapable at some point? Can we escape that trap, that rabbit hole? Who knows?
For example, they see the DOJ, of course, aggressively prosecuting President Biden's chief political rival, Mr. Trump, while at the same time, they see slow walking and special treatment given to the president's son. That's just a fact that everybody can see with their own two eyes. I want to focus on that investigation of the Biden family. We have many important questions for you today about that. Let me just get right to the chase. Has anyone from the White House provided direction at any time to you personally or to any senior officials at the DOJ regarding how the Hunter Biden investigation was to be carried out?
No.
He's a liar.
Have you?
He's just lying, right? So these are comments in 2 years from now you can roll back and see, and you'll watch Merrick Garland lying to Congress, right? That's what he's doing right now. No, I didn't know nothing.
Had personal contact with anyone at FBI headquarters about the Hunter Biden investigation?
Yes, and now he's looking for a stupid answer.
I don't recollect the answer to that question, but the FBI works for the Justice Department. It's.
I'm sorry. You don't recollect whether you've talked with anybody at FBI headquarters about an investigation of the president's son?
I don't believe that I did.
I don't believe I did. I might have forgot. I might have had that conversation, but I forgot.
Promised the Senate.
Such a fucking liar.
When I came before it for confirmation, that I would leave Mr. Weiss in place and that I would not.
So Weiss is the scapegoat, obviously. Weiss is the throwaway gun. He's the special counsel so that the boss doesn't have to agree to anything. Weiss, he made the decision. If you don't like the decision, it's Weiss's fault. Right? That's what they do. Right? Special counsels today, that's the new scapegoat. We can't make a decision because everybody here thinks that we're partisan, so we'll get a special counsel to make the decision that I'm supposed to make. I was appointed to make these decisions, but because nobody trusts me, we'll get a special counsel that you can trust, wink, wink, and they'll make the decision, right? It's beyond corrupt. When you hear special counsel like Durham, like fucking, the other jerk off, with the Russia scandal, right? These are all these are hacks. These are paid hacks, right? And they're scapegoats. They're people that you can vilify and say, yeah, see, they were fucked up. But as the sitting president, I would have never, or the sitting attorney general, I would have never done that.
Not interfere with his investigation.
Okay, did you ever...
I have kept that promise.
All right. Have you had personal contact with anybody at the Baltimore field office on the Hunter Biden matter?
No.
All right, so you get the point. So let's flip to Julian Assange. You get the point with Congress. Merrick Garland, that was supposed to be an important grilling. And you got to see Merrick Garland, very, very headstrong, boots firmly in the ground, supporting Biden and his corruption, will not comment whatsoever on any of the Burisma stuff. But what about Julian Assange, right? Julian Assange has got his foot in the trap. And it seems, unanimously, left and right in America wants to see Julian Assange. The politicians want to see Julian Assange stay in jail for the rest of his life.
The delegation of 6 Australian lawmakers have arrived in Washington. Delegation of 6 Australian lawmakers have arrived in Washington to urge the Biden administration to halt its prosecution of the WikiLeaks founder, who is an Australian citizen. More than 60 members of Australia's parliament from across the political spectrum recently wrote an open letter to the Biden administration. It appeared as a full-page ad in the Washington Post. The lawmakers wrote, quote, "We are resolutely of the view that the prosecution and incarceration of the Australian citizen Julian Assange must end." The letter goes on to state, "The prolonged pursuit of Mr. Assange wears away at the substantial foundation of regard and respect that Australians have for the justice system of the United States of America," unquote. Julian Assange has also received support from the highest levels of the Australian government. This is Australia's Foreign Minister, Penny Wong, speaking in July.
We have made clear our view that Mr. Assange's case has dragged on for too long, and our desire that it be brought to a conclusion. And we've said that publicly, and you would anticipate that that reflects also the position we articulate in private.
Mm-hmm.
We're joined now by the Australian Senator Peter Whish-Wilson.
I just want to get to the details first, because that guy was kind of boring. So Australian lawmakers call for release of Julian Assange. Washington, a cross-party delegation of Australian lawmakers, like 60 of them, that traveled to the U.S. seeking the release of WikiLeaks founder, journalist Julian Assange, said they had a productive discussion with Washington. In this article, it says that 9 out of 10, somewhere, or maybe the guy is going to say it, but 9 out of 10 Australians, people, citizens, believe that Julian Assange should be released to Australia, where he would be freed, and they're calling for it by Christmas. So there it is. What did Julian Assange do? It's obvious the hit video that he published. He's facing 175 years in America. Maybe we should listen to this guy. Let's listen to this guy a little bit.
He's a member of the Australian Greens Party representing Tasmania. He co-founded the Bring Julian Assange Home.
He's pretty boring. Here it is. So Australian delegates meet with U.S. officials, member of Congress. Here's some good facts right here. I think so. 60 members. The delegate brought a letter signed by more than 60 members of Parliament, calling for the U.S. to drop charges against Julian Assange. That's all the U.S. has to do, is just drop the charges, and Julian Assange will walk out of Belmarsh prison, right? And probably just return to Australia and live his life out, right? But what are you waiting for? What the fuck are you waiting for? You're waiting for him to drop dead in jail in the holding pen in Belmarsh, England. He's facing 17 charges for allegedly receiving, possessing, and communicating classified information. Well, sometimes classified information is released to the press, and that's what happens. Right? Look at the Pentagon Papers. Look at Watergate. Right? They were heroes. The guys who exposed Richard Nixon's bugging the Democratic Party's offices and thereby winning the presidency, was revealed by journalists. Right? Remember those guys, journalists, people that stuck their neck out to expose and or inform the populace about corruption. Well, Julian Assange is the pillar of that. Award-winning journalist from Australia. Single-handedly revealed through the WikiLeaks dumps how corrupt the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, was, especially in terms of how they rigged the election against Bernie Sanders. And he also alluded to the fact that the United States may just have killed a number one main informant inside the DNC, the guy who actually dumped the information to Julian Assange. Julian Assange says, and or alluded to, got killed on the streets of Washington, remember? And his name is Seth Rich. One of the informants, that's what Julian Assange says. So that might be one of the reasons why they keep him, who knows. But again, they always say national security. So Julian Assange, he published a hit video that Chelsea Manning, who was looking at 30 years in prison, that's different. What Manning did, Manning was an insider, and he released this information, and for that he was thrown in jail. You're not supposed to do that. Once you're on the team, you can't change your mind. But he gave it to a journalist. He did his time. He was pardoned by Barack Obama and harassed by Trump for years. But Julian Assange, Julian Assange is not, you can't do that. I forgot what I was going to say. But anyway, so the delegation said it attempted to speak with Assange at Belmarsh. No one can speak to Assange. So the charges against Assange came in 2010, publishing the U.S. Army intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning's leak to WikiLeaks. He did a lot of things. People think of him as the DNC dump leaker, but he also exposed the collateral murder video showing the U.S. military gunning down civilians in Iraq, including 2 Reuters journalists, who also published 13 years ago. So collateral murder video and other things too. Julian Assange has a long list of exposures that I don't remember offhand, but a lot of them are pretty impressive. And the DNC leak was one of them, and certainly the collateral murder videos were others. But this is what journalism became, because it was so important to expose corruption at that time. We were watching Barack Obama's military gun down fucking journalists in Iraq when they were supposed to be breaking that war up, and such, right? Fucking terrible things, right? What is journalism? Man, what is journalism? I don't do journalism anymore. I do educational, philosophical live streams where I talk about what I think is fair and just, a world fair and just to me, right? It's almost illegal to be a journalist. Right? So anyway, these guys are fighting. Are they going to get Assange out of the can? Is Julian Assange going to walk free? All of Australia wants him back. Most of the United States wants him out. England could care less, really. But Merrick Garland, you saw the guy. It's this guy right here. It's this guy, Merrick Garland. He can do it in a sweep of a pen. In the sweep of a pen, Julian Assange can be free. But it ain't going to happen anyway. So have a great extended weekend. My name is Marcus Conte. I'll be leaving you right now, and I'm in a kind of a down mood. I want to get outside and get in the sun a little bit, and I'm down about the market. I thought we had bottomed, but it looks like we're going to go down further. I can't even play guitar when I'm depressed. Oh, Marcus, why won't you go up? so we can all eat and have some fun. That's my song today, man. I'll see you guys, man. Morning Freedom Fighters. Morning Freedom Fighters, says Dan. Peace, everybody. I got some piano music queued up. Listen to that for a minute. Listen to that for a minute. Really, have a great weekend, everybody. Have a great Friday and Saturday, Sunday. I'll see you guys on Monday. Marcus Conte reporting.